Hi, I'm called Jan. I'm a long-distance trucker. For years I was a sailor, but then I started raising a family and left the sea. Now I drive for a Norwegian trucking company based out of Sandefjord. I still travel a lot, only now I'm the captain. It's a good job, and I like the combination of freedom and responsibility that goes with it. Sure, it gets a little monotonous at times, driving mile after mile all on my own. But you know, I like getting out and seeing the world, and that's a certainty in this job, with no two runs being alike. One day I'm up in the mountains and snow of Norway. The next, well, here I am, heading for the deserts and palm trees of the Middle East. But now I'm getting ahead of the story. You see, it all started a few days ago. There I was, relaxing in the mountains with my family, while at the same time, a long way off, something was happening. An unexpected breakdown aboard a ship bound for the Persian Gulf, and the necessary spare part was to be made in Norway. Then it had to be gotten to Dubai, where the ship could pick it up while en route into the Persian Gulf. I was given the job of seeing the new part got to Dubai on time. We'd scheduled a run there anyway, and we're in the middle of preparing a maiden trip along what's been called the world's longest truck route. That is the Dubai Road Express, stretching 6,000 miles in each direction. But the breakdown on board the ship meant things became a little more hairy. Finally, the spare part, packed in a crate addressed to Serpent's constellation, the ship, was ready to be loaded, along with another 20 tons of cargo for the Persian Gulf. A final meal with the family, the last for some time. And it's time to hit the road. You know, driving through Europe's dead easy. It's just like driving in a parade. Just about anyone can do it. But after a couple of days, you're in Turkey, and this is where the trip really starts. Londra Camp is in the European part of Istanbul. It's the meeting place for everybody driving to or from Asia. People are either heading home and taking a rest after the hardships of Asia, or they're getting ready for the jump to the next continent. This is the last chance for a little socializing. After Londra, you're on your own. Ahead lies the loneliness and the adventure. But it's only a short break for me. Somewhere there's a ship waiting for me and the crate I'm carrying, and there's no room for delay. I'm now heading for the bridge over the Bosphorus. It starts in Europe and ends in Asia, for me at least. For others, it starts in Asia and ends in Europe. It always feels kind of awesome driving across the bridge. I don't know why. Perhaps it's because the bridge divides two different worlds. Although, on second thoughts, the bridge links two continents. You know, there's something special about this run. Although there's nothing very special about driving to the Persian Gulf. I've done it many times. And my company's made 125 runs in a row now without any trouble. But this trip's different somehow. On earlier trips, we've always turned off to the left once over the bridge, driven over Mount Ararat in eastern Turkey, and then headed straight down to Bandar Abbas on the Persian Gulf. But then they dropped the Bandar Abbas Express. So now I'm heading for Dubai instead, on the other side of the Gulf. And that means an extra 600 miles or more stroppy customs posts. Still, that's no hassle. No, what makes this trip different is that for part of the way, there's no road. But it's no use worrying. Right now, I've got to reach Doha, and that's a nice little run of 2,000 miles. But at least I'll have a road all the way, thank God.
Oké.
You're living free and play at being cool. You don't agree with any man, you're stubborn as a mule. And not a soul can tame you, though you say if you have tried. And many girls have shown you love and you push them on the side. No one really knows you, they call you Smith by name. And no one really understands that money is your game. Is anyone truly sure about where you come here from? You keep guessing, don't they never say you work. Where do you get your money from? You
Hallo. Hallo.
Oh, servus.
Servus, wie geht's?
Ja, es geht gut.
Ja?
Ich gehe nach Haus. Wo gehst du hin?
Ja, ich muss nach Dubai.
Dubai.
Ja.
So. Hast du noch ein schönes Stück Weg vor dir?
Ja, sicher. Du daheim.
Ja,
Besser.
5 Tage will ich nach Haus fahren. 5 Tage.
Ja.
1000 Kilometer am Tag. Ja, läuft weg.
Well, I've made it to Doha, and as I'll be dropping off half my cargo here, I can also leave my trailer and pick it up on the way back. But the rest's got to get to Dubai. First, there's 60 miles of asphalt. After that, nothing. Nothing but trackless desert. Miles and miles of loose sand and sweltering heat. With no map and no road signs, there's a very good chance of getting lost and no chance of help if something should happen.
Ja, det är salvator. Hej, hej.
Nej, inte där. Må stå under.
Aha. You guys down below, eh? Yeah, down below. How many now, Mr. Kasar? 20. Balance one. Balance in. See on all.
Look. What happens, see, as you drive along, the sand builds up in front of your diff. And it gets to such a pressure to suck you then you've got to start digging. But as I say, the best way to do it is keep off the same track. Find a track which is not too deep. As I say, you've got 3 main plots. You've got one, say, about 5 kilometres long. The next one is only about 100
On
yards.
trips like this, it's vital to get as much good advice as possible. This guy knows quite a bit about the desert and warns me about some tricky spots. He also says I should change my large round diesel tank under the truck for another one with a different shape. Mine would get stuck in the sand when the wheels dig in, he says. Another tip he gives me is to keep as low tire pressures as possible when in loose sand.
ما بيرجع وعسل
Well, I can take it easy while waiting for the tanks to be switched. But I just can't help thinking. You know, there are Arab drivers who specialize in this run, and even some of them get lost. 14 people are said to have simply vanished out there in less than a year. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not scared, but you have to admit it's quite a challenge. I'd obviously let out too much air. After about half a mile, 2 of my tires blew out, and I've only got 2 spares. Don't ask me why I set up the Norwegian flag in the sand. I've no idea. I guess I just panicked a bit and hoped the flag would give me some reassurance. Perhaps I thought I'd landed on the moon and wanted posterity to know that the first man on the moon with a truck was a Norwegian. I certainly felt like an explorer. Really, I should have turned back and bought some new tires, but I didn't give it that much thought. If you're an explorer, you're an explorer, and there's only one direction: forward. I'd hoped to use my Robson drive in the loose sand, but neither it nor the bogey hoist works in the heat. I once figured out that it's about 30 million feet from Oslo to Dubai. Now look at me, digging my way along 3 feet at a time. I wonder how long it would take me if I had to dig all the way from Norway to here. It's certainly taking time. Still, 3 feet is 3 feet. Getting closer all the time. 3 feet closer to Dubai.
Serpent's Constellation, Gagship 4, the rate. Calling, calling to Maldives, keeper, over. Hello, Serpent's Constellation, Gagship 4, the rate.
Well, that's that. Now all I have to do is drive back home.